What's up, guys? John here. Boris Johnson is now set to resign in the next few weeks when they find a replacement. And it's not just him. It's a staff of approximately 50 or more than 50 are set to go. His intervention comes with another deluge of ministerial resignations, brought the total to leave Johnson's government to more than 50, right? We're starting to see a lot of people get very angry all over the world demanding change. A really good example of this is Sri Lanka. Look at what's happening in Sri Lanka. Fuel shortages, food shortages, hyperinflation. A lot of fear. A lot of fear. Government buildings getting burned down. Things are getting crazy over there. The question I have is, are we starting to really witness an angry society starting to fall like dominoes, where people are going to start demanding change? Is this going to happen? Because it seems as though this is in fact what is happening. With that being said, today's paid sponsor is the solutionevent.com. And the Solution Event, they believe that things are going to get much more painful. And what is most important in painful times is food, water, shelter, and community. And what they are doing is they're building out a community everywhere where they want to put people, connect people, and bring people together to get through the tough times. And this is the solutionevent.com. More on that in just a little bit. Now, Boris Johnson, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, quits after dozens ministers resign over his conduct, right? They may say it's conduct, they may say it's this or that, but the facts are that it's really, how is this going to be the one situation or the multiple situations that are going to push a resignation when we look at how angry the people were here last year with massive protests everywhere. He didn't resign then, right? Now this is the straw that broke the camel's back, right? Sri Lanka, they're grinding to a halt amid fuel shortages, inflation in Austria prompting mass protest. They're pulling fuel to where even health vehicles can't get around. Things are getting horrible in Sri Lanka, absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. And so Boris Johnson, the UK's Boris Johnson, has stepped down. Here's what happens next and who could replace him. Now, some people may think this is great. We're gonna replace Boris Johnson. But I think a really good example of this is we look at New York City, right? Look at New York 2 years ago when you had Andrew Cuomo, right? And you had the governor of New York, right? These governors and the mayor, de Blasio, what happened there? They were replaced by Mayor Adams, right? De Blasio was replaced by Mayor Adams. Did we see change? No. Everything, at least, from a 10,000 foot overview, looks exactly the same, right? And when we see Kathy Hochul, did she really bring forward any type of change after Andrew Cuomo? No. Everything actually looks identical, right? And so the question is Boris Johnson going to step down, and his second replacement is going to be a Boris Johnson 2, which is going to basically run everything as if he is still running things, right? That's the big question. Are we going to see change across this economy? Or could we perhaps see a situation in which rising gas prices, rising food prices, and everything else is being pushed on this, on this drama, right? And drama generally is really good at dividing people and getting people to pay attention to other things, right? And so you start focusing here, and then this is the scapegoat for rising food costs, fuel costs, everything else is going up. And so people could blame it for any which reason as to why things are getting progressively worse in that area, right? That's the big question. Are we going to see a big change, or are we going to see more of the same? So, after an acute political meltdown in the UK, Prime Minister Boris Johnson has resigned as leader in the Conservative Party, setting in motion a race for a new Prime Minister. Johnson stood at the lectern outside number 10 Downing Street at lunchtime Thursday and announced his resignation, stating that no one in politics is remotely indispensable, and that he was sad to be giving up the best job in the world. Crucially, Johnson said he would continue to serve as Prime Minister until a successor is chosen in a leadership contest set to take place over the coming weeks. But given Johnson's extraordinary fall from political grace, there's disquiet among some, both within his ruling Conservative Party and beyond, over the prospect of Johnson remaining in office for any time at all. Here's what could happen in the fast-moving political drama, right? And so this person says, what a depressing state of affairs. So much needless damage caused, right? So much needless damage is caused. So now we need a new leader as soon as practical, someone who can rebuild trust, heal the country, and set out a new, sensible, consistent economic approach to help families, right? Okay. Like the key buzzwords, everyone would vote for that. Everyone wants that, right? Everybody wants their family to do better. They want, things to, to come back together. People want the old way, 2018, 2019 life. They want that back. And so it's very easy to promise, hey, we're going to bring costs down. We are going to, make everything better for the family. Everything's going to get much better. Everyone's saying, yes, we want this change. But really, what is going to be the real plan of action that's going to be executed on that, right? Will we start to see those changes? I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure. Meanwhile, another Troy MP tweeted that it is beyond cruelty that Mr. Johnson can stay in office. Others have said an interim prime minister should be installed to look after government business over the summer while Parliament takes a break. Unsurprisingly, the leader of the opposition Labour Party, Keir Starmer, has said that Johnson needs to go completely and that there should be none of this nonsense about clinging on for a few months. If the Conservative Party does not support Johnson's remaining in post, it could recommend that the Queen appoint another Conservative lawmaker as a stopgap. But current Deputy Prime Minister Dominic Raab, likely to be the front runner, right? Alan Monks, an economist at JP Morgan, said the Conservative leadership process was likely to be completed in a matter of weeks, and the first round is likely to start imminently and will consist of a series of votes among the party's MPs designed to whittle down the process of two candidates taking 2 weeks or less. The second round will be a ballot among party members to decide who becomes the next leader and hence prime minister. This could take further than 4 weeks or so. Right? Who could replace him? Right? And what are the impacts on markets? So yeah, we're going to start to see a lot, I think, especially over the winter months, and not just there, but we're going to start to see a lot happening everywhere over the winter. The winter is going to get to the point where people are going to start utilizing more fossil fuels, more utilities, right, to keep warm. And what's going to happen? Right now, we're seeing oil prices kind of pull back, but we're starting to see a lot of things go in motion, which is indicating that oil prices are going to rise much, much higher in the coming couple months. So if we start to see oil prices rising when everyone's cold, and then we start to see markets continuing to look very volatile and shaky, we're going to start to see an angrier society, right? We're going to start to see a lot of change. So that being said, if you're looking for a plan, you're looking for some type of strategy in which you can position yourself for this change, visit thesolutionevent.com for free information. Subscribe here. I'll subscribe on my second channel, which is going to be an interactive call-in show and a podcast starting this upcoming week, and on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok up in the banner. But I'm really curious as to what do you think about this? Do you think that Boris Johnson exiting is going to be a very good thing, or do you think that this is nothing more than, a distraction, and this isn't really anything that's going to really move the needle much? Drop your comments below. I'm really curious, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. If you're interested in being sponsored on my YouTube channel, visit cashnow.video/sponsor and fill out the application.